I'm Melody Boza, a Pilates teacher and owner of Mel's Pilates Shop in Tampa, Florida. And today I'm going to take you through a lower body workout using the reformer. I've got a heavy setting on the springs. I basically got all my springs on except for the blue. And we're going to start with some footwork. I like to have my headrest up, but just support your neck however it's comfortable. And we're going to lay down. Starting with the toes on the bar. So I'm in a parallel position, about hip distance apart. I've got my toes on the bar with my heels lifted. And we're gonna press the carriage all the way out, reach your heels underneath the bar, press your heels back up, bend the knees, and we repeat, stretching out, reaching under, lifting up, bringing it in. 8 more, 8, reach, lift. Press out, 7, and up, and 6, reach, lift, 5, and 4, last 3, and 2, last 1, staying out, bend one knee, send the heel of the opposite leg underneath, and we switch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, 2 high heels, bring the carriage halfway in, pause, little pulses here, pressing out 2 inches, in 2 inches, out, and in. 8 more for 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, and bring the carriage back in. Taking your heels on the bar, very wide, and then externally rotating from your hip to find this nice like wide, like a dancer's second position of the lower body. We're going to rotate through the hip capsule, so we're pressing out in external rotation when the legs are straight. Internally rotate, start to bend the knees until the knees come together, bringing the carriage in. So turning out, pressing out, turning in, pulling in, out, out, in, in. 3 more, and 2, last 1, keep the internal rotation, reverse. So trying to keep the internal rotation as long as you can. Once the legs are straight, externally rotate, bring the carriage in. Turning in, pressing out, turning out, pulling in, out, out, in. 3, and 2, and last 1, bring the carriage halfway in and pause, and those little pulses, try not to make them bouncy, so nice and controlled, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting the carriage close, bringing the heels back to about hip distance apart, lowering the headrest if it's up, keeping the carriage closed, articulating the spine for bridging, curling the tailbone underneath, peeling up the low back, the mid back, and the upper back, finding this nice opening in the front of the hips, pressing down through the arms, articulating the spine on the way down, upper back, mid back, low back, tailbone, peeling up again, lift, 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 and up, and melting down. Keep going like that, nice and slow, so you get that segmental articulation of the spine. And even though we have a lot of springs holding the carriage in, see if you can isometrically contract your hamstrings as if you could pull the carriage closed even more than it already is. And we'll take that 2 more times, peeling up, melting down, and last time, peel pulling up, keeping the hips lifted, keep the hips level, lift one leg into a chair, replace it, and switch. 8 more, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. On the last one, we hold it, lowering the hips halfway down, pressing back up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold the hips up, straighten the extended leg up towards the ceiling, flex through the foot, lower the straight leg, point through the foot, lift it back up. Flex and lower, point to lift. 6 more for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, bend the knee, replace, switch sides, hips lower halfway, press it up for 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold the hips up, extend the leg, flexing through the foot, lower the straight leg, lift it back up. Flex to lower, point to lift. 6 more for 6. Leg is reaching away from you, getting a little bit longer every time. 3, 2, 1. Bring it back in, melting down the spine. I like to take a little rotation of the low back after holding the bridge. So if you sweep your arms around to the pegs, bring your legs into a chair, and just rotate your chair position each direction pretty slowly, keeping the shoulders anchored down, and just letting the low back kind of get a little release as you rotate each direction. We're going to roll up and change the tension, making it just a little bit lighter for some single leg footwork. So I'm going to have 2 reds and a yellow. 2 reds and a blue would work as well for this. So we're going to roll back down. I like to have my headrest up for this. And I'm going to start with my left toes on the bar and my right leg extended over the foot bar. As I press out with my left leg, my right leg is going to kick up towards the ceiling. As I bend my left knee to bring the carriage back in, my right leg is going to circle out to the side and come back to the start position. As I do this, I'm trying not to circle my working leg out to the side and keep it nice and parallel. Here we go, 6 more in a row. Pressing out for 6, circle around, bringing it in. And 5, circle around and in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse the circle of the extended leg, pressing out as you circle around. Circle around and up. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it halfway in. Little pulses with your working leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Pressing all the way out. Right foot is going to hook underneath the bar, and you're going to use that foot to pull the left heel underneath. So I've got my right foot pulling, my left heel pushing. And bringing the carriage in, setting up for the other side. Left leg extends over the bar. It's going to make kind of like a capital D. So it's straight up and then it circles around. And then when we reverse it, it circles around and up, straight down. So here we go. Pressing out, circle around and in. And stretch. Circling around. 4. And 3. And 2. And 1. Release. reverse. Circle around for 6, and 5, 4, and 3, 2, last one, halfway in, pulsing for 8, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, press all the way out, and hook the foot under for the stretch. We're going to keep this tension for our next trick, but I'm going to lower my headrest down. So it's another pelvic lift, so we want to have the headrest down so we're not crunching up the front of the neck. So we're going to set up like a bridge, heels on the bar. Try to keep the carriage closed as you lift the hips up. Keeping the hips lifted, we press the carriage out, pulling it in. As you press out, the hips might naturally lower a little bit. Try to posterior pelvic tilt to lift them up to pull the carriage back in. 6 more. And in. 5. Pull in. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Keep the carriage closed. If your feet are really wide, bring them a little bit more narrow. Right leg in a chair, left leg presses out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring it home. Switching legs. Pressing out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring it home. Last variation. Switching legs. Sending the right leg up. Finding that paintbrush. As you press out, lower the leg. As you lift up, bring it back up. 7 more. 7. Bring it in. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the carriage closed as you switch. Pressing out. Bring it in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring it home. Replace the foot, melting down. And then a nice twist I like to take is I'm going to take my left leg underneath the bar. Just let that leg relax. Scooching my hips all the way over to the right side of the carriage, keeping the shoulders centered. Right hand's going to hold on to the peg. Left hand's going to anchor my right leg across for a big twist. I'm using the frame here against the foot to kind of anchor my leg where I want it. I'm trying to keep my right shoulder retracting towards the carriage, and my right hip is obviously lifted and almost basically stacked on top of my left. And then bringing it back to center, switching sides, right leg goes under, hip scooch, left hand stays, right hand reaches across, taking the twist, taking a few deep breaths into this hip, into the low back. We are going to change the tension once more. So I'm going to keep my 2 reds, just taking off my yellow. We're going to do some feet in the loops. A red and a blue would work well for this too. I'm putting my headrest back up for the beginning of this. So we'll start in a parallel position, pressing the legs out, and then squeezing them in towards each other. Try to keep the spine and the low back pelvis nice and neutral. So as you lift your legs up, the pelvis doesn't roll up also, so I'm anchoring my tailbone down as the legs come up. And then pressing away. As my legs press away, I'm also trying not to arch my back with this. I'm keeping my spine nice and neutral, even reaching my low back towards the floor. And here we go, lifting the legs up, reaching away. And 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone's favorite leg circles, lifting up, open, circle around, squeeze together at the bottom. And 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reversing the circles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more time. Press the legs halfway down and pause. I'm going to bend my left knee as my right leg goes straight up towards the ceiling. The tension stays the same on both straps. I press back out to about 45 degrees, switching legs. I call this walking on the ceiling. Bend and stretch. Bend and reach. Good. 5 more sets of this. 5. Keeping it parallel. 4. So my knee is slightly tracking on the inside of the strap. 3. And 2. 1 more each side. Good. Keeping the legs extended to 45 degrees, start to externally rotate until you have your V. Glue the heel bones together. Knees both bend to the outside. This is your frog. So bend and stretch. Bend and press. 6 more for 6. Reach. 5. Stretch. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Keep the external rotation. Legs open out to your side. Adduct the legs back together. Breathing in, squeezing together. 6 more for 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Combining the frog with that. So we bend into the frog. From here, keep the femur where it is. Extend the legs out to the side. Keep your legs straight. Squeeze them together. Bend, stretch, squeeze. 4. And 3. And 2. Last 1 in that direction. Reverse. Straight legs open out to this side. Bend and stretch. Open, bend, and just 4 more like that. For 4, 3, 2, and last one. Very good. Feet can come out of the straps and replace the straps. Okay, so we're keeping the 2 red springs on for now. Coming up to standing, having your left leg or your supporting leg kind of in the middle of the carriage, tucking your other leg against the shoulder pads, giving just a slight bend on your supporting leg and keeping that. Spine is nice and long and neutral. Taking a breath in and then pressing your other leg all the way back to straight, resisting it in. Press and stretch, resist it in. We'll do 8 more for 8. And 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Bringing the carriage all the way in. I'm removing one of my red springs and coming to stand all the way, standing up tall. Keeping my hands on my hips. I'm going to press the carriage back a little bit until when I look down, both of my thighs line up with each other. So I have tension in my right leg already. Taking a breath in here, bending the supporting leg deeply and pressing the right leg all the way back, bringing it up. Press and lift. 8 and 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bringing the carriage back in. Switching to the other side, I'm going to add back on my other red spring. So I have 2 red springs on, standing in the middle of the carriage, using my arms on the foot bar to help support, having a little bend on my supporting leg, maintaining that, and then pressing back 10 times with the working leg for 10. Stretch for 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Letting the carriage close, removing one of the reds, coming up to standing tall, lining up the legs. And this one has a little bit of a hinge forward with the torso. So taking a breath in, exhale, bend the supporting leg as you press out, bring it back up. 9 more, 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Bringing the carriage all the way back in. Keeping the red spring, losing the foot bar. Foot bar is going to go in the no foot bar position, and then we'll come up to standing on the platform. Always standing on the non-moving side of the reformer before you put your foot up on something that's going to move, obviously. So coming up to standing, we're going to try to keep all of our weight on the platform leg, and this leg is going to stay straight while the platform leg will bend and extend. The torso can hinge forward as you go into this speed skater kind of lunge movement. So I'm going to bend my platform leg as I push the carriage out with this straight leg, and then come up to standing tall. Pressing out, bring in. You kind of look down. You want this knee to pretty much line over your big toe. Good. And 7 more for 7. And 6. 5. 4. 3. And 2. One more time, stay out. Stay low. Bend this extended leg. Stretch and press it out. Bend, press. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Bringing it in, and we'll go right into the other side. So I'm going to step down, come around, step up on the platform first, bring my left foot in, or my right foot in towards the carriage, and here we go. Pressing out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 4, 3, 2. Last one, stay low, bend this extending leg, bring it in, press it out for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting the carriage close. Okay, and I'm going to take you through a few stretches now for the hips, quads, and hamstrings. So sticking with the one red spring, come to kneeling, facing the straps. I'm going to take my left toes and tuck them at the edge of the platform, and then take my right leg in front with the knee out to the side. It kind of looks like a figure 4 stretch. Then I'm going to lift weight out of my back knee and push the carriage forward. So it reminds me of like an active pigeon pose stretch. You can play while you're here with kind of leaning into the right hip or finding a little bit of rotation, and you'll find the sweet spot of where the stretch is going to be the most beneficial for you. Okay? And once you're satisfied with that, you can switch to the other side. Left knee is the furthest thing out to the side. Lift weight out of your back knee. Press the carriage forward, using the arms to help you get deeper into the stretch and also gravity. So feel free to linger here for as long as you want. I'm going to move on to the next stretches. So bringing the carriage back in. We're going to lower the headrest down if it's up, and also we need the foot bar up. I'm putting mine in the middle position. I'm also going to add on a bunch of springs because I don't want to go anywhere. I don't really want to bounce around, so just giving myself some support. So I'm going to take my left foot forward. So first I'm going to hook my right foot on top of the foot bar, and then once I have my foot on the top of the foot bar and my knee connected to the mat, then I can free up my left foot to step it forward. Once I have my left foot forward, I can start to lift my chest. So right away I'm feeling a very significant stretch on the front of my right quadricep and hip flexors. So if I give myself a little bit more posterior pelvic tilt where I'm kind of engaging my glutes, finding a tuck feeling, finding a lift feeling through my upper body, I'm getting a nice stretch there. Also, you can make it a little bit more active by pushing the top of your right foot down into the foot bar. And then if you want to test out how much mobility you actually have in the front of this leg and the strength of your glutes and hamstrings, see if you can, without shifting your body weight forward too much, see if you can lift and hover your foot off of the foot bar, maybe count to 10 or so, and then release the foot, deepen again into that stretch. And switching to the other side. So we want to hook the other foot, step forward, lift the chest, and find that posterior tuck. So I'm giving a little bit of an extra squeeze through my left glute and pressing down into the top of the bar with my foot. From here, let's keep the right leg forward. Bring the hands back to the shoulder pads. Unhook your left leg and see if you can just slide your right leg forward. So as my right foot goes forward, I'm also trying to pull back with my right hip, so I get a little opposition there. And I'm bringing my chest forward towards my foot. So to get a little bit more active hamstring stretch in this position, you can start to push your heel down into the headrest. You can kind of ramp that up, start to about 30%, squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, until you're really trying to drill your foot through the headrest, and you'll feel the posterior part of your leg really activate. And then same idea, what would happen if you didn't lift your chest very much, but you tried to engage the front of the leg to see if you could lift your foot off of the headrest. You can see my leg is not going anywhere, but it's just the contraction to see if you can get that leg to lift up, and then you can relax into that stretch a little bit more. Switching sides, right knee comes down, extend your left leg forward. The knee might have a little bit of a bend in it, or your leg might be straight. So long as there's no pain and you're getting a stretch through your hamstring, it's fine if it has a little bend in it. So I'm bringing my chest forward, I'm trying to lengthen my spine, bring opposition between pulling my left hip bone backwards as I find this stretch. I'm even using the shoulder pads to kind of pull my chest forward. And then I'm starting to ramp up, pressing my heel down into the headrest, pushing down, firing up the muscles on the back of my leg, making it more of an active hamstring stretch. And then I'm trying to retract out of that, seeing if I can lift my leg up and own that flexibility, which I don't really own yet. So I'm just firing up these muscles, but nothing is really moving. And then we're going to relax and let the head come back down. And bringing that knee back in. Thank you for joining me for this lower body flow today. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thank you and take care.